guys, welcome to the first episode of Spoiler Alert. My name is Sophie.
And I'm Elsie.
And this channel is dedicated to talking about the dissatisfying, disappointing, and just plain dumb endings to movies that we really enjoy.
Yeah.
We're going to be covering Hereditary, which is actually the movie that instigated the idea of this channel.
Yeah, because we saw the movie Hereditary in theaters together.
A month ago.
Yeah, and
the entire drive home, which took an hour, we talked about how dissatisfying the ending to this movie was.
yes, I loved the movie up until the last 15 minutes, and then I was like, did I even like that movie?
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, hence...
This channel.
This channel.
Because we got a vent.
So, we're going to start with the synopsis of Hereditary. So, the nuclear family is played by Toni Collette, the mother, Gabriel Byrne as the dad, Alex Wolff as the son, and Millie Shapiro as Charlie, who plays the younger daughter, and I think she's like 13, 12.
I'm sure if you guys recognize Peter, it's because he is from the Naked Brothers band. Truly
I
an
did
icon.
not know that.
Yeah.
So the movie opens with the funeral of the matriarch, Toni Collette's mother, so Grandmama.
Grandmama.
After the funeral, they all get like food. It's mentioned that Millie Shapiro, Charlie, has a nut allergy, which is mentioned twice, by the way. They're like, "Do you have your EpiPen?"
Ooh, this seems like some foreshadowing. Like,
are there nuts in that? Does she have her EpiPen? I don't know. Does she have her EpiPen?
she's 13. Like,
yeah, that's
she's
why.
gonna read the wrapper.
Okay, so then we're back at the house at night, and Toni Collette is. I'm not even gonna call her by the character's name. She's just.
Her performance was amazing.
Fabulous. Yeah, so Toni Collette is tucking Charlie into bed. Clearly there's something wrong with Charlie. She, must be, emotionally stunted in some way.
Yeah. The grandmother of Charlie, who just died, sunk her hooks into Charlie.
Oh, yeah.
As soon as she was born.
Toni Collette says something, or, trying to be comforting, Grandma loves you.
Yeah.
The most.
Mm-hmm.
Charlie says something funny, which is, well, she wanted me to be a boy. Toni Collette is an artist.
Truly.
Is truly an artist. No, I mean, sorry, in the movie. I mean, she's an artist in real life, but in the movie she's an artist. And, and sorry.
She does the...
Her work is in miniatures. The father, Gabriel Byrne, gets a call from the cemetery. Her burial was exhumed and desecrated. Mm-hmm. So we're like, okay. and then she says, I'm going to go see a movie. And then she goes to the support group. Which I don't know why she doesn't tell her husband that...
there's no emotional communication between family members. And the fact that Charlie couldn't cry after the grandmother's funeral.
Yeah, there's something wrong with that girl.
Yeah. If your child can't cry in front of you, she might be possessed by King Payman.
She's King Payman, okay.
She's literally a demon.
At the support group, she delivers this great monologue about her family history. Her mom struggled with DID, and then it became intense towards the end of her life. She also struggled with dementia. Her father had psychotic depression, and her brother was schizophrenic.
Wow.
That's quite a medical...
Quite a hereditary package. I feel like it's worth mentioning, probably now. DID it stands for Dissociative Identity Disorder. I think in previous TV shows and movies, it's been portrayed as multiple personality disorder. And so the fact that Annie mentions that her mother has it, I think is very significant.
She monologues about her relationship with her mother. It is incredibly complicated and sad.
Well, there's this weird reference to the fact that when her brother was diagnosed with schizophrenia, he committed suicide,
right.
And the reason that he cited for committing suicide was, my mother was trying to put people inside of me.
Peter and Charlie go to school, and a bird hits the window, and all the kids are like, "Oh my god!
Oh my god, what was that? Was that a bird?
Then Charlie looks at the desk and sees a pair of scissors on the desk of the teachers. She has the scissors outside, and she takes the scissors and she chops the head off of the dead bird in the bushes. Okay, so...
This child is a disturbed child.
At school, Peter is invited to a party that he knows that the girl that he's sweet on is going to be there. He lies to his mom. He goes to Toni Collette and says, "Hey, Mom, there's a school barbecue that I want to go to."
We've all done that one before.
We've all been to school barbecue. Well, she's like, well, first of all, you can't drink. And he's like, I'm
not going to. I'm just gonna smoke a lot of weed.
Okay, then she finds Charlie in the field, and then she's like, you're going to the party, and Peter's like, great.
Yeah.
Okay, so Peter takes Charlie to the party. It's not a school barbecue. It's clearly an adolescent, typical high school party.
Another bit of, like, lovely foreshadowing.
Yeah.
Right when they open onto the party, somebody is slamming a knife down on, like, some fucking, like, 7 pounds of walnuts.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah.
Oh, Charlie has
a nut allergy.
A nut allergy.
And there's, like, a chocolate cake.
Because you know that no, like, blazed teenager is gonna be like, let me chop some fucking walnuts. Like, making brownies, sure, whatever. But, like, chopping walnuts? Like, chopping carrots? Like,
who is that maternal at the age of
Yeah,
16? Who is that
yes.
self-possessed to be like, I'm just gonna make a casserole?
totally.
I'm sorry, we're, like, totally
Roasting.
trashing. Yeah, we're totally trashing people who enjoy culinary practice at a young age. He sees the girl that he likes from English, and he's like, hey, I've got some good weed. And you know that's the way to any woman's heart.
Oh, of course. Some
And-
fine ganj.
Yeah. And then she's like, great, I'm gonna friend zone you upstairs. He's like, hey, Charlie, will you be chill and
Go get some fucking cake.
He goes upstairs. She does get cake. The cake has, like, peanut butter or peanuts.
It's those walnuts.
It's the walnuts. Yeah, so she has a severe nut allergy, as we mentioned.
Because King Payman, the all-powerful,
King of hell.
gets fucked up by some peanuts. Like,
She goes into anaphylactic shock. By the way, her parents would absolutely make sure that she had an EpiPen on her at
yes.
all times. So
Yes.
They're neglectful parents. They deserved what... Okay, so she goes into anaphylactic shock. He actually has the right response in a crisis. Like, he knows what to do in that situation. He becomes, like, superhero brother. He springs into action. He picks her up and runs downstairs. He starts the car. He throws her into the back. He is zooming down the highway, I think at, like, 80 miles per hour, which is reasonable.
Yeah.
His sister could perhaps die.
Right. And she makes the fatal error of rolling down the window so that she can get some more air.
So he sees a deer in the road, like a dead deer. He swerves, and as he's swerving, she smacks into, what is it? It's
A
like
telephone pole.
a telephone pole at 80 miles an hour, and her head just snaps. It's gone.
Gone.
At 80 miles an hour, you're going to, that's a way of decapitation.
Decap is attated.
Yeah. It's like, ugh. We all know what happened. It's tastefully not shown until it is shown.
Yeah.
But, like,
yeah. And then you see it in broad daylight and
Yeah.
it's being eaten by ants.
That is, I mean, yeah.
But yeah, and then it becomes silent and everybody in the theater is like...
Peter does something crazy. He decides to drive home, leaving his sister's decapitated head in the road, her body in the car. He drives home, he parks the car, he walks into the house, he goes to bed.
When Peter comes home and goes to his bedroom, you can hear his parents whispering to each other, oh good, they're home.
And
it's like, fuck! I'm sure every parent has felt that, like when their child comes home from a party and they thought that Charlie was going to be with him, and it's like...
I, like, really don't understand that. He drives home.
Yeah.
And does nothing. His mother finds the body in the next morning.
Toni Collette's screams
Oh my God.
are horrifying.
I wanted to vomit.
Oh yeah, it's just like bone chilling.
A testament to her acting.
Yes.
Absolutely.
It was just so interesting to see the contrast between the death of her mother and the death of her child. You know, when your parent is passing and they're dying of old age, it's very different than like having your child die.
Ripped apart. Or like,
yeah,
ripped
like
apart.
decapitated.
Well, ripped away from you. Not
Right.
just ripped apart. Which
Which she was. I remember the first time I saw it in theaters, it happened, the decapitation, and one of the girls, like, sitting in a row in front of me was like, fuck this movie.
She drives to the support group, like, let's say a week later, there's a time jump. A woman stops her. This woman, her name is Joan, but the actress is named Ann Dowd. And this actress, I'm kind of obsessed with.
Oh yeah,
bit.
queen.
She great. So yeah, Joan stops her. Joan was like, "How are you recovering from your mother's death?" And then she's like, "No." Tony Collette is like, "No. My daughter
was killed."
Yeah.
I was listening to this podcast about how cults are formed. And one of the things was that cult leaders often go after people who are vulnerable emotionally. They will often show up at support groups.
Are you serious?
Yes.
That's so fascinating.
And they will pretend to have like emotional turmoil that they can relate to the people who are in the support groups. I understand how you're feeling. There's this great group that I'm a part of. The fact that the movie is named Hereditary, me and Sophie thought it was going to be about the kind of hereditary nature of trauma and mental illness.